In this video, we'll continue further with whatever we learned in the last video. In the last video, we got introduced with the concept of time series and trend, and we learned how to use the moving average method of time series. So again, in the moving average method, we learned how to find the moving average when the given period is even and when the given period is odd. For the odd period, we looked into practical examples of how to find the moving average for 3 years and 5 years, and for the even period we looked into practical example of how to find the moving average for 4 years. Now today we'll do some further examples and see what we can do uh, when the period is not specified, and again we'll also see how we can find the weighted moving average. So first let us look into an example. Find the trend of annual profit of an organization by moving average method. So we are asked to find the trend of annual profit of an organization using the moving average method. Here the years are given: 1961, 1962, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 72, 73, 74. Also the annual profits are given in thousands. Annual profit are given in 1000 rupees. This is 1000 rupees. If you cannot see, that is, so annual profit in 1000 rupees: 31, 34, 33, 35, 34, 32, 30, 36, 34, 35, 39, 34, 36, and 42. And we are further said, use the most appropriate period of moving average. So since we are not given what period we should use as one cycle, or we are not given what period we should use as a cycle, what we'll do, we'll draw the graph, we'll plot this data graphically and see what period can be most appropriately used as one complete cycle for the entire, to represent the entire data. So here I have written, to determine the appropriate period of moving average, we find the peaks of the given data from graphical representation. So what we do, you don't have to think about anything right now. What we do, we just plot this data graphically. So how do we plot it graphically? The years that are given here, we plot it into horizontal axis, and the annual profit we plot it into the vertical axis. So I have plotted the years here: 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. And in the vertical axis, we plot the profit in 1000 rupees. So here we are given the data, we just start writing it from 30 to the highest is 42. So we write it from 30 to 42. Since the lowest is 30, the highest is 42, we plot it from 30 to 42 and we'll keep a gap of 2 units. And we can easily work out with the gap of 2 units here, since a difference of 1 unit can be plotted in between the 2 units easily. That can be done easily by our own discretion, so we don't need to have a difference of 1 unit as such. We can locate the difference of 1 unit with our bare eyes without plotting it on graph. So 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, and 42. Again 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, and 42. We have plotted these profits starting from 30, that is the lowest profit, up to 42, that is the highest profit. and we have maintained a different a scale of 2 units here. So now what we do, first we look at the year 1961. So this represents 1961. What is the profit here? 31. Where is 31? Between 30 and 32 we have 31. So in the middle of 30 and 32 against 61 we plot here 31. Now for the year 62 we have profit 34. So from the graph here, in the year 62 we put a point on 34. Again for the year 63 we plot 33. Here between 32 and 34 we plot 33. Year 60, for the year 64 we plot 35. Here between 34 and 36 we plot 35. For the year 65 we plot 34 as given here, 34. And then for year 66 we have 32, year 32. And for the year 67 we have 30, 67 we have 30 year, 30. For the year 68 again we have 36, so 36 will come here. For the year 68 we have 36. For the year 69 we have 34. We put a point here against after plotting 34 on 69. In the year 70 we have 35. So 35 will be somewhere between 34 and 36. 35 will plot here in the year 70. Year 70. In the year 71 we have 39. So 39 will be between 38 and 40. We plot 39 here in the year 71. In the year 72 we have 34. 34 here we put a point on it. And in the year 73 we have 36. We mark 36. And lastly in the year 74 we have 42. We mark 42 here. After that we'll join all the points. We'll have these lines as shown here. After we join all the points, all the dots, we'll get this kind of graph. So this is a graphical representation of the given data where the annual profit is plotted against years given. So now what do we mean by a cycle? Or what do we mean by a cyclical fluctuation? When some value moves from its lowest from its lowest point, reaches its maximum, then again starts falling, reaches the minimum, and again starts rising, reaches the maximum. Likewise it continues to go, then we call it a cyclical fluctuation. So here it is somewhere below. From here it starts rising, reaches a peak, then again starts falling, reaches a downward peak. After the reaching the downward peak it starts rising again, it again reaches an upward peak, and again it starts falling again, it reaches a downward peak, and again starts rising again, it reaches an upward peak. So from one upward peak to another upward peak we call it as one cycle. Again from this upward peak to this upward peak we call another cycle, and from this upward peak to this upward peak we call another cycle, and from this upward peak and this to this upward peak it is yet another cycle. So from one maximum point to another maximum point we call as a cycle. So what we do here is we find the time difference between different upward peaks or the different peaks. So this peak is in the year 62 and this peak is in the year 64, right? So here I have written this year, peak value, period. So here for year we just I am just representing it with 2, 4, 8, 11, 14, where 2 means 62, 4 means 64, 8 means 68, 11 means 71, and 14 means 74. And peak value is the value of profit at the peak points, at the corresponding peak points, and this period gives the number of year in between two peaks. So this is one peak value which is in the year 62, so I just write 2 year because the first peak value is in the year 62. I write 2 year. The value of profit here is in the year 62 is 34 year, so the peak value here is 34. And then after this, how many year gap, period gap do we have before another peak? 1 year, 2 years. So another peak arrives after 2 years. So we write 2 in this period. Now for the second peak value, what is the year? 64. This is the peak value. The year is 64. We write 4 year. What is the peak value here? 35. In the year 64 you can see 35, even in the graph you can see 35. So we write peak value as 35 year. And how many years are between this peak and the next peak? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the next peak is after 4 years, so we write 4 year. Now the next peak is here in the year 68, so we write 8 here. Here 68, so we write 8 here. So what is the value of the variable at this point? 36. So we write 36 here. In the year 68 it is 36. Also in the map you can see it is 36. So you write 36 here. And after this peak, after how many years do you have another peak? 1, 2 and 3 years. So after 3 years you have another peak, so you write 3 year. So the next peak is here in the year 71, so you write 11 year. So what is the value of the variable at this peak? It is 39. Between 38 and 40 it is 39. So you write 39 year. You can also see in the year 71 the value is 39, so you write 39 year. And after how many years after this do you have another peak? 1, 2, 3 years, so you write 3 year. So the final peak is here in the year 74, so you write 14 year. What is the value of the variable year in the peak? It is 42. Also you can see here in the year 74 the value is 42, so you write 42 year. Since after this year you don't have any other peak, so you don't have to write the period here. Very simple, very easy. So read here. So the given data shows 4 cycles with different periods 2, 4, 3 and 3. So there are 4 cycles, 1, 2, 3 and 4. From one peak to another peak, one cycle. From one peak to another peak, second cycle. From this peak to this peak, third cycle. And from this peak to this peak, 4 cycles. And what are the different periods here between the 4 cycles? 2, 4, 3 and 3. So these are the different periods between the 4 cycles. The duration of one cycle is 2 years, the duration of the other cycle is 4 years, the duration of this cycle is 3 years, and the duration of this cycle is 3 years. So it is written here, period is equal to 2, period is equal to 4, period is equal to 3 and period is equal to 3. So let me repeat it again. From one highest peak to another highest peak, you have one complete cycle. The duration of this cycle is 2 years, so the period is 2 as shown here. The duration of this cycle is 4 years, so 4 year. So duration of this cycle is 3 years and duration of this cycle is also 3 years. In this case, the most appropriate period of moving average will be the mean of the periods of different cycles. So if you take the means of the different periods, you will get the appropriate duration for which you need to find the moving average. So here you are told use the most appropriate period of moving average. So how will you get the most appropriate period? You will take the arithmetic mean of all these periods, which is also given here. You will get the most appropriate period. You will get the most appropriate period that you may use. So the period of moving average is 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 divided by 4, that is the average of these values. There are 4 values here, you add them up, 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 and divided by the number of values, that is 4, you get the average. So that will be equal to 12 divided by 4, that is equal to 3. So 3 is our most appropriate period for which we can find the moving average. So we will find the 3-year moving average. So now you already know as you already know how to find the moving average of you already know how to find the moving average, 3 years moving average we have done before, so you can watch it and do it yourself. You put down the years first and then you put down the value given here, the years given here. You put it down in the first column, in the second column you put it down the values given here, these are the values, you put it down here, and then in the third column you add 3 consecutive numbers, you add these 3 numbers, you write the sum in the middle here. So 31 plus 34 plus 33 is equal to 98. You write it in the middle of these 3, so 98 comes here. Here you will have nothing because there is nothing above 31 to add, so 31 won't be a middle of anything, so there will be no value here. After you have written 98 here, again you exclude 31, you add these 3 values, 34, 33 and 35, the sum is 102, you write it in the middle here, 102, and then you go on adding 33 plus 35 plus 34, it is 102 again, you write it in the middle here, then you again add 35 plus 34 plus 32, the total is 101, you write it in the middle here, and so on and so forth, and the final value will be 34 plus 46 plus 42, the sum will be 112, you will write it in the middle here. Since there is nothing below 42, nothing after 42, we can't have any further sums. So this I have explained in the earlier video itself, you can watch it to know. And this is the 3-year moving total that we are here representing by T. You can denote it by any symbol as such. So this is the 3-yearly moving total. So the 3-yearly moving average will be given by these values divided by 3. So 3-yearly moving average equal to 3 by T by 3. So is equal to 32.67, this divided by 3 is 32.67, this divided by 3 is 34, this divided by 3 again is 34, and so on. So your problem is solved. Now the next example that we are going to solve is weighted moving average. So find the 3-yearly weighted moving average of the following data with the weights 1, 2 and 1. So we are asked to find 3-yearly weighted moving average. Till now we were dealing with moving average. Now we will be dealing with weighted moving average. So let us see how we deal with this. So we are given three weights, 1, 2 and 1. Keep in mind, if you are dealing with 3-year moving average, you will be given 3 weights. If you are dealing with 5-year moving average, you will be given 5 weights, and so on and so forth. So here you are given here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and you are given value 2, 3, 6, 4, 1, 2 and 5. Now the solution, the weighted moving average is given by summation wx by divided by summation w. So what is summation wx? We will look at it later. So first let us see what is summation w. So summation w is the sum of all the weights given. So what are the weights given? We are given 3 weights, 1, 2 and 1. So what will be the sum of the 3 weights? Here the given weights are 1, 2 and 1. Therefore summation w is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 4. So what is summation w is clear to us. Now the first thing we do is we put this in the first column. So in the first column we write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the second column we write value 2, 3, 6, 4, 1, 2, 5. So here also done, value also done. Now we will find what is summation wx, weighted moving total of period 3 or 3-year weighted moving total. We denote it as wx. So what we do, we multiply the first number by the first weight, plus we multiply the second number by the second weight, plus we multiply the third number by the third weight. Here what are the weights? 1, 1, 2 and 1. So since nothing is above 2, we'll have nothing against 2 here. So since we start with here, our first value will be in the middle of these 3 numbers. Since it is 3-year moving average, our first value will be between these 3 numbers, that is here. So we will have nothing above it, so this will be blank. So our first value 2 is 2 and our first weight is 1, given here is 1. So 2 into 1 plus our second value here is 3 and our second weight is 2. So plus 3 into 2 plus our third value here is 6 into our third weight is 1. So 6 into 1 is equal to 2 plus 6 plus 6, it is equal to 14. Similarly, now for the second value here, we will start from here. So our first value here is 3, our first weight is 1. So 3 into 1 plus the second value here is 6 and the second weight is 2. So plus 6 into 2 plus our third value is 4 and our third weight is 1. So plus 4 into 1, it will be equal to 19. So we are done with 2. For the third one, we'll start from here. So our first number here will be 6. Our first weight is 1. So 6 into 1 plus our second number here is 4 and the second weight is 2. So plus 4 into 2 plus our third number here is 1 and the third weight is also 1. So 1 into 1, it will be equal to 15. So now we are done with these 3. Now we will have to do these 3. We will start with 4. So our first number here is 4. The first weight is 1. So 4 into 1 plus our second number here is 1. Our second weight is 2 plus 1 into 2 plus our third number here is 2 and our third weight here is 1. So 2 into 1, it will be total 8. And for our final set here, our first number is 1. Our first weight is 1, so 1 into 1 plus our second number is 2, our second weight is 2 plus 2 into 2 and our third number is 5 and our third weight is 1, so 5 into 1, the total will be 10. Now what will we do? We will divide these numbers by summation w. What is summation w? We have got summation w as 4. So 14, this is our 3-year weighted moving average, that is wx by summation w. So 14 divided by 4 is equal to 3.50. 19 divided by 4 is equal to 4.75. 15 divided by 4 is equal to 3.75. 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2, and 10 divided by 4 is equal to 2.50. Very simple, very easy. So now suppose you are asked to find the weighted moving average of 5 yearly weighted moving average. You will be given 5 weights. So like you multiplied this by the first weight, plus this by the second weight, plus this by the third weight. For that you did for 3-year moving total. For 5-year moving total, what you do, similarly you will have 5 weights given in the question itself. You will have 5 weights given. What will you do? This into first weight, plus this into second weight, plus this into third weight, plus this into fourth weight, plus this into fifth weight. You will add them together and write it in the middle. Which one is the middle? This one is the middle. So you will write that value here. Again you will leave this behind. You will start from here. This plus this into first weight, plus this into second weight, plus this into third weight, plus this into fourth weight, plus this into fifth weight. So the middle value will be this. So you will write it against here. So you will do it that way. Everything is same, but you will only be given 5 weights to deal with. Very simple, very easy. So for example, you will do one sum by yourself. For the following series of observations, verify that the 4-year centered moving average is equivalent to the 5-year weighted moving average with weights 1, 2, 2, 2 and 1 respectively. So you are given a set of data where you are given years 1969, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78 and 79, and you are given annual sales 2, 4, 6, 1, 5, 3, 7, 2, 6, 4, 8 and 3. So you are asked to verify that the 4-year centered moving average is equivalent to 5-year weighted moving average with weights 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. So what you do, you first find the 4-year centered moving average, like we had learned in the last video. In the last video we learned how to find the 4-year moving average after centering the data. So you will use the same technique to find the 4-year centered moving average. Very simple, very easy. After you do that, you also find the 5-year weighted moving average, where you take the weights as 1, 2, 2, 2 and 1. As I told you, since you have 5 years weighted moving average, you will be given 5 weights here. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 weights you are given. You will have to find. You will have to use similar method like here to find the weighted moving average of 5 years, and then if you have to verify if the 4-year moving average is as same as 5 years weighted moving average. You do it yourself. I have pasted the question and the solution here. So you see, if you have any confusion, you refer to this, or if you are having any problem, you refer to this. It will make it easy. If you further have any problem at all, you can contact me anytime you like and with anything you want. Thank you.